Ever pondered the misconceptions surrounding Islam? From the claims that it fosters violence to the misconception of women's oppression and intolerance towards other religions, there are preconceptions that many unfortunately consider. Are these claims grounded, or are they mere products of fallacies? Islam, like any faith, is frequently misapprehended, its doctrines often distorted. Misunderstandings birth and perpetuate false notions which, if not rectified, sow the seeds of ignorance and bias. Hence, it becomes paramount to pursue the truth, to untangle the web of hearsay and comprehend Islam's true essence. This video is an endeavor to dispelling myths, the truth about Islam. We aim to debunk prevalent misconceptions about Islam, including the so-called oppression of women, intolerance towards other religions, and illuminate its authentic teachings. This is not an exercise in accusation or culpability, but an exploration of understanding, acceptance, and truth. Are you prepared to embark on this enlightening journey? Let's delve into these myths and unveil the truth. One of the most common myths about Islam is that it promotes violence. However, a closer look at the teachings of Islam reveals a different picture. Islam, like all religions, fundamentally advocates for peace and harmony among humanity. The word Islam itself derives from salam, which means peace. This signifies the inherent peaceful nature of the faith. The Holy Quran, the central religious text of Islam, carries numerous verses which encourage peace. One such verse, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 208, translates to, "O you who have believed, enter into peace completely and do not follow the footsteps of Satan. Indeed, he is to you a clear enemy." The term jihad, often misunderstood, is another point of contention. The term jihad in Arabic means struggle or striving. It's an essential Islamic concept that encompasses a Muslim's personal struggle towards righteousness and moral conduct. It does not inherently mean a call to violence or war. Any acts of violence committed in the name of jihad are, in fact, contradictory to the principles of Islam. Historically, Islam has always promoted peaceful coexistence. During the Prophet Muhammad's time, treaties were established with non-Muslim communities, guaranteeing their safety and freedom to practice their own faith. The Charter of Medina, signed by the Prophet Muhammad, is a prime example of this, where it established a multi-religious Islamic state with rights and responsibilities outlined for all. However, it's important to acknowledge that, like in any religion, there exist individuals and groups who misuse the teachings for their own political or personal gains. These acts of violence are not a reflection of Islam but rather a distortion of its teachings. So it's clear that Islam, in its essence, does not promote violence. Instead, it encourages its followers to strive for peace, justice, and harmony amongst all beings. It teaches Muslims to respect all life and to uphold the values of compassion, kindness, and understanding. This is the true spirit of Islam, a religion of peace. Another common myth is that Islam oppresses women. A sweeping statement, but one that overlooks the rich and nuanced history of women's roles and rights within Islam. Let's start at the beginning, with the Quran itself. The Islamic holy book is explicit in its recognition of both men and women as moral and spiritual equals. It states, "Whoever does righteousness, whether male or female, while he is a believer, we will surely cause him to live a good life." This verse, among others, underscores the inherent dignity and value of women in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad also played a pivotal role in promoting women's rights. In a society where female infanticide was common, he declared that daughters were a blessing. He encouraged education for both genders, saying, "Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim male and female." His wife Khadijah was a successful businesswoman, and his youngest wife Aisha was a renowned scholar and leader. Fast forward to today, and you'll find countless Muslim women excelling in various fields. From Malala Yousafzai, the youngest ever Nobel laureate advocating for girls' education, to Ilhan Omar, one of the first Muslim women elected to the United States Congress, Muslim women are not just victims of oppression, but agents of change. In Saudi Arabia, women have recently gained the right to drive, a testament to the evolving landscape of women's rights in predominantly Muslim countries. This doesn't negate the fact that cultural practices and societal norms often restrict women's rights, but it's crucial to differentiate between cultural practices and religious beliefs. The truth is that Islam, at its core, champions the rights and respect of women. It gives women the right to inherit, to own property, to get an education, to work, and to choose their spouse. It acknowledges their integral role in society and provides a framework for their protection, respect, and empowerment. Evidently, Islam does not oppress women but empowers them. The oppression often associated with Islam is more a reflection of cultural practices and societal norms than the religion itself. and it's time we separate the two to truly understand and appreciate the role of women in Islam. Many believe that Islam is intolerant of other religions. This is a common misconception that we're going to unpack in this segment. Let's start from the very foundations of Islam. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, states, "There is no compulsion in religion." What is clear from this verse is the essence of freedom of choice, which is at the heart of religious tolerance. Islam, in fact, acknowledges the validity of other monotheistic religions such as Judaism and Christianity. It recognizes their prophets and holds them in high esteem. The Quran even refers to Christians and Jews as people of the book, indicating a shared spiritual heritage. Furthermore, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, exemplified religious tolerance in his own life. There's a well-documented instance where he allowed a Christian delegation to pray in his mosque in Medina. This was an act of interfaith respect and harmony, unheard of in many societies of the time. Moving on from the foundational teachings, let's look at some historical examples. The Golden Age of Islam, spanning from the 8th to the 14th century, saw Muslims, Christians, and Jews living side by side, contributing to advancements in science, philosophy, medicine, and art. This period of intellectual blossoming and cultural exchange wouldn't have been possible without a climate of religious tolerance. Fast forward to the present day, you'll find numerous examples of Muslims living peacefully and productively alongside people of other faiths all around the world. From the bustling streets of New York to the serene landscapes of Indonesia, Muslims coexist with their neighbors, fostering communities built on mutual respect and understanding. So where does the myth of intolerance come from? It's important to distinguish between the actions of a small minority who misuse religion for their own ends and the peaceful teachings of Islam. The essence of Islam is peace, and this includes peace with people of all faiths. This shows that Islam is not intolerant of other religions but promotes peace and coexistence. Let's continue to explore and understand rather than judge based on misconceptions. The world is a beautifully diverse place, and Islam acknowledges and respects that diversity. Some people think that Islam is rigid and outdated. But let's take a moment to unravel this myth, shall we? Islam, like any other faith, is a living, breathing entity that evolves with the times. It is not a static belief system stuck in the 7th century, but a dynamic and adaptable faith that has spread across the globe, permeating every culture it encounters. It has adapted to a myriad of social, political, and cultural contexts over the centuries, proving its enduring relevance. Islam's adaptability is not only evident in the diversity of its followers, but also in its intellectual contributions. Did you know that the Golden Age of Islam, between the 8th and 14th centuries, witnessed remarkable advancements in science, technology, and culture? Muslim scholars of this era made significant contributions to mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. They laid the foundations for algebra and algorithms, pioneered the study of optics, and established some of the world's first hospitals. Now, fast forward to the 21st century. Muslims continue to contribute to the scientific, cultural, and intellectual fabric of our world. From Nobel laureates in physics and chemistry to pioneers in the field of information technology, from world-renowned artists and musicians to influential figures in literature and cinema, Muslims continue to push the boundaries of human knowledge and creativity. Moreover, Islam's teachings emphasize the pursuit of knowledge and encourage intellectual curiosity. It recognizes the value of reason and intellect, and promotes a culture of continuous learning and exploration. This spirit of inquiry is as relevant today as it was in the time of Prophet Muhammad. Finally, let's not forget the rich diversity that exists within the global Islamic community. From the bustling streets of Jakarta to the serene landscapes of Senegal, from the skyscrapers of Dubai to the colleges of Cambridge, Muslims around the world live their faith in a myriad of ways, reflecting the dynamic and evolving nature of Islam. Clearly, Islam is neither rigid nor outdated but is a dynamic and evolving faith. A faith that encourages learning, fosters diversity, and continues to contribute to the world in myriad ways. These are just a few of the many misconceptions about Islam. The journey to understanding a faith as diverse and profound as Islam is a long one, filled with rich history, profound teachings, and myriad cultures. We've barely scratched the surface in our short discussion here. Yet we hope this has sparked your curiosity to delve deeper, to ask questions, to seek knowledge, and foster understanding. The universal values of peace, equality, and respect are not exclusive to any one religion or culture. They are the shared heritage of humanity. In Islam, these values are deeply embedded in its teachings and practice. From the peaceful teachings of the Prophet to the rights and respect given to women, the tolerance towards other religions, and the adaptability over time, Islam embraces these values wholeheartedly. Remember, knowledge is the key to understanding. So let's continue to seek the truth and dispel the myths about Islam.